Welcome back to Wealth Wise. I had another video for a few days. My had gotten in the way. Welcome back to all live viewers. Smash that like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Up with my videos. So what's the week really? So I've actually done a video. We have a Telegram group, where I put all of my updates, trades, charts, updated 24/7. So be below. Let's turn this music down. Let's have some music in the background because I do think it does bring a nice vibe to the whole thing. Alright then, so let's get into it. This was a weekly candle from the weekend. I know it's now Wednesday, we're halfway through the week. And at the moment we've got a red doji candle going on halfway through the trading week. And that's fine. It scooped all this liquidity that was here and it's not even tried to take the liquidity up here yet. Not even tried, which is great because they're building it. They are building this liquidity because they want to push the price higher. People want to get rich, they want to get poor. It's a different kind of market this time around because there's not lots of money in it, not like the 2020 COVID where people were sitting at home, more people were showing an interest, people back to work, people wondering whether they're going to be able to pay the bills at the moment. Cost of living is high, but things are starting to get better. So they are really working this quite well at the moment. Let's look at the hourly chart for Bitcoin. You can see my trade, my short, it's still in and still holding nice and strong. I'm holding this one because obviously Bitcoin is being quite high at the moment and I honestly don't see it taking that liquidity above just yet. I think he wants to build on it a little bit more. So as you can see in my chart, the liquidity is in the yellow box, which means that it's medium liquidity. It's not a huge amount of money. Now, what's sitting below it is billions of dollars down to the $89,000 price. So I still believe they will slowly grind it down, take this liquidity to build that money so they can buy further, make their money and push that price up more. And while they're doing that, they're going to entice the shorts and lots of money should build up here as we go along. Okay, moving on to my ENA trade. As you know, I was shorting it. My signals have changed now and I've flipped it to a long and we are in profit here. At the moment, I'm doing a 20x leverage with this account. So that's 5 times 20, it's 100% at the moment. But I will ride it until it goes to the point of changing of direction. And the reason I do that is because it will have a nice long move and give me probably 20 times 30%. 30 times 20% return, and that's how you build. Remember, you don't invest more than 2 to 3% of your funds. This is not financial advice, remember that. I'm just sharing what I am doing. You don't have to follow me. You really don't have to follow me. So let's have a look and see what's going on with the US S&P 500. See, I mapped this out before. I told you to keep an eye on that. If it was to stay inside this box, I would have shorted this, but no, it started to trail back up again because, like they say, they like to use the news as an excuse to get things moving. Like I said, I still see it coming up here at some point, which is the most probable move. And as you see, it dipped down a little bit, but that's fine. It happens. It's got these gaps here to fill. I do believe they will fill them eventually, but I do think it might entice some money up here again, like with Bitcoin, and probably push it up back into this area here. We shall see how it goes and keep an eye on the market as it moves. This is why I've got this blue circle here in the box to look out for. If it was going to go there, I would have shorted it. And as you can see, it hasn't, so I haven't shorted it. So I'll take that out and we'll leave it at that. Now, had you have followed this short trade that I did put on one of my first videos last week, then you would now be in the money after putting in 4 more entries. Like I said, it's looking to come down to this area here. Now that I've closed my trades on I've closed my trade now actually on the USD Japanese. Where is it? Where are you? My trade, the Japanese one. Oh yeah, it's going to be in the forex list. So I closed this trade and I've taken profits. Yes, I know I was going to take it down here, but I decided to close that because the main reason for it is because this other trade was starting to look like it was going to go my way. I was actually be able to put some money on it because that's really what I would like to do. But So enter it around this area here. So what I'll do is I will mark this area here. I'll be looking at trading anywhere within this box. Or in fact, what I might do is sort of put a box there. Let me put this little trading box in there. That would be better, wouldn't it? To use parallel channels. So if I'm going to do it, I would like to enter my trade now, as this is now new resistance anywhere between there and there. So which is $17.59 and the $19.79, and I'll map this as a blue box, or yeah, blue box, so it can be seen. So at the moment I'm going to wait for it to get into this zone now, so I'm going to start doing this. If you've got into this trade, I'll leave that risk to reward tool there. If you had followed this is where your entry should have been, but I'm obviously going to be looking to enter now here, second entry here, and the third entry there. That is my plan, and I will show you. I'm going to do that now. To D-Wave Quantum, so 17.55. Which is a QBTS. See, I'll do this with you live, guys. I'm doing this with you live. Yeah? You like this? This is good, right? So, I'm going to short this. Limit. Yeah, pending order. Price I want it at 17.5. Maximum remaining quantity. Why is it not letting us do this? That only gives me a pound margin. Gonna sneeze, hold on. Alright, there we go. I wonder why it's not letting me do this. What I'll do is I'll try and do a market order later and see how that goes. Might add some money onto this account anyway, to see if that will make a difference. So that's probably what I'll probably do. So I will be entering those entries, and I'll be sharing that in my Telegram group that I've entered them. One here at 17.55. What I'll do is I'll put the call out, mark the price label. 17.53ish. In the middle of the channel, 18.68. And then the top of the channel, which is resistance, 1980. Okay, so those are going to be my entry points. I mean, obviously, I prefer to do them if they were 10% apart. That's from halfway there. No, in fact, I like to do the 10% moves. So I'm going to move that. Those would be my entries. Let's actually measure this. That will be better, wouldn't it? Let's measure this. So if I'd entered here, my first entry, and then my second entry would be there, but I'm happy to put it at resistance. All right, so, and if it goes again, I'll be chasing this again, 10%. So about here, 21.81. So 21.81. Let's move this channel. There we go. All right, so that's better. That's better. So these will be my entries where I'll be chasing them. All right. Okay, so that's where I want it to go. Well, I would like it to go because obviously that'll give me a better entry. Because if it was to come up to here, my entry will be here. If it was to come up to here, my entry will be here. Okay, remember that. So that 10% move is normally 100% move, but the price of the entry will go halfway between if you put the same amount of money in on the margin that you put originally. Will move your entry 50% of the way. If you put your margin higher than that, the maximum they'll give you is a 75% between that price and the current price. Understand that. If you overinflated your margin, you're not going to get any higher or bang on the entry that it's sitting at and mark it. So that's from my experience. All right, how is RGTI doing? Look at that, it's gone past here, it's making its way up to this zone here. Remember, these are the zones I was looking at to go for a trade. Zone number 1, zone number 2. Remember, I spoke about this last week if you're watching my videos. It's 20% between them, so I'll probably put another entry here and see how that goes, see if it will take back that wick. But yeah, ultimately this is a fantastic resistance area, but I will see how it reacts here first of all. If it can't get above, then yeah, the short would be going here, because that's closing this gap over here. See this gap here? That's, I'll move that over here now, because that gap has slightly closed from there. So now it's got to be here, bang on where that circle is here. So I don't even need that circle now, because you can see it bang on here. This is the gap now that it needs to close, and I believe it will close it. If it goes up here, happy days, we'll enter up here, but we'll see how it reacts around the 17.5 price region. Just look at that one. QUBT, here we are. It's got back past this area here, and it's also retraced down. So see how it reacts here. Like I said, it's probably, I believed it will probably close these gaps on the way down. It hasn't done that. But let's see how it reacts here by the end of this trading week. Remember we talked about into, look at that, boom, straight past that resistance line where I believed it would most probably go. Remember, we work on probabilities. What does the charts tell you? Where is it likely to go? And that's why if we think it's going to go somewhere, 75% chance, that's why we only put in small amounts of money, because it goes against you at 25% of the time. And you can chase that, you can add to it, and you can get that entry, and you will get it eventually. But remember, you must only trade a small amount of your capital. Not financial advice, remember, it's not what I do. All right, so smash it past here at the on the daily candle from yesterday. This gap is humongous here. Look, that gap it's caused on the day before shot up to there, and it's hit this line. Let's keep an eye on this blue line here. Does it keep going and go to price discovery? I wouldn't touch it until it shows some sort of resistance and movement down, and back to the, as someone else says, scene of the crime of a trader that I've learned from. Keep an eye on this level here for that one. This is all about having patience and just waiting, basically. TGT, we spoke about TGT. Look at that. It's, see that gap there? It's, looks like, move that away, has it closed it? Oh, yes, almost closed the gap. So that gap is now gone. Let's see how it reacts here. This could still be a messy head and shoulders, but see how that goes. Like I said, I wouldn't touch it as it comes down here. So at the moment, I think it's likely to, let's see what it's likely to do, because these are gaps down here that's from quite far ago here. Will it close it? I probably think it would still come down to close it. So keep an eye on these levels again, and that's where I would most likely like to long it. Now, in saying that, we have a gap up here to close, and do we have any more? From there to there will be the gaps. Really, because obviously that big gap was there that needed closing. It's not fully closed, so it's now got to be, here will be your gap. Let's put a line in there. Line number 1, a line to the beginning of that gap. Let's take that up. Area here, see how it goes when it closes that gap up here. All right, so this is one I'm keeping an eye on. I'm either gonna long it at some point. Ultimately, I prefer it to go from here, quite frankly. The stochastic momentum indicator is still on the way down, so we'll keep an eye on to see how it goes. Probably next week or so, might get that trade. If it goes above this indicator here and stays above it on the hourly, and we have definitely another few greens, it gives us a, I mean, that says high there, but that's actually the high there. So it's 1, 2. This is a lower low. So we'll see how it reacts here. So that's got to be a lower low. Then it's likely that this could probably give us another lower high, which would be probably around that area there. So let's mark this. I'm going to mark that into red and see if that becomes a resistance. So keep an eye out for that for TGT. Remember, we're waiting to trade that. Robinhood. Remember, we put this, I said, oh, if I was going to trade this, I'd probably trade it around this area now. It's now coming up to this resistance here. Now, let me see if I could put a trade in for Robinhood, because I do think that's going to definitely give us a move down resistance. Let's see. Let's make sure that's the same. Yep, the same chart. Look at that. Sell. Will it let me sell? Market closed. Where's the resistance? Resistance is 66.84. 66.84. That's at $12. Now I'm going to go down just a little bit because I want to chase trade this. $6. So I've got spare in. What do I have spare? I'm going to look on my phone because I can't see it on here. So I've got the box in the way. I'll have £28 cash. So if I was going to chase trade this, that gives me 5 entries. Okay, so £4 is the maximum that I can put in. So it'll be a £20 value on it. See, this gives us a 5x on here. So I'm gonna confirm that. And then now that limit order is now in at that price. So I'm now going to move my risk to reward tool to the 66.84. Need to zoom in because I've got to get this accurate. 66. Sometimes these charts you got to zoom in to get the exact point. There we go. That's now going to be my entry. This is on the daily. Oh, I move this over. Move away a little bit. Oh, that way. There we go. There's my entry. And this is going to be entry number 2, which would be at 73.99. Remember, they like to move majority of time in 10%. So I'm going to put that limit order in as well so you can see me doing it. What was it again? 73.99. 73.99. It was 20. Yep. So there you go. Now you can see it. I've done it. I've put those entries in, and then I'll keep you updated on how they go. I'll also keep updated in my Telegram group as well, which I'm going to make sure that I do. You're not going to be able to see this, so I'm going to do it on my phone. You're not going to be able to see this anyway because it's only showing specifically this window on my terminal. Put it on my Robinhood trade for those who are in my Telegram group. If you want to follow that, then by all means, link in the description below. In my zone. Thing I've learned over the years is that you long a dump, and then you certainly short the pumps, and that's how we work it in this market. Okay, you long the dumps, you short the pumps. Because you look at Robinhood, I mean, this is so high on their stochastic momentum indicator. It's hitting into resistance here, and look, it's got some gaps, tiny gaps to fill on the way down, but it's hitting resistance. Did it go above there that we are in price discovery? But I pretty much believe that double tops are pretty not in price discovery because there's a little wick up there to 84, 89. But yeah, it's pretty much in price discovery, and that's pretty much is where we're at. It's at resistance. This is where I want to go. This is what I'm going to do. What else were we looking at last week? We had the 10-year yield. 10-year yield is going up. When the yields go up, the market goes up. So I've been told sometimes it can go the other way. Just keep an eye out on that one. Government bonds coming down. What else do we need to look at? Apple. We spoke about Apple last week. There we go. It's closed that gap now, because that gap was like, it just, dumped down very quickly that day. Remember, it has now closed it. If I was to see if it will come down to these regions here again, I would definitely give Apple a long. But for now, I'm not going to touch it for now. We'll see how it goes. Scroll out. Yep. I'm not going to touch it for now. If I was, I'd like it to come down to here, these levels here, and then I would definitely put longs in, but waiting for these levels to come in, so keep an eye out for those. All right, DEC. We spoke about DEC as well, didn't we? Look at that. Oh, it came close to this area here, and now it's moving up. We probably will close this gap. See how it reacts by end of the week. See how it reacts by the end of the week. Like I said, I probably won't want to enter until it gets down to my zone here, and I'm going to stay patient. Oil, how is oil doing? Oil's doing okay. It's doing okay. All right, so back to E&A trades. That's fine. I've got loads of like different kind of cryptos on here. If anybody wants to be the charts of crypto or talk about any other cryptocurrencies and see where we're at, then let me know in the comments. I'll do that for you. Let me know in the Telegram group, link in the description below. I will do some tokens for you, do some charting for you. Just ask for it. I absolutely don't mind. Financial markets, investors flock to equity funds that exclude US Trump. Still there. That's all they've got at the moment. They're still sitting on that. Japan's long-term borrowing costs hit record high on demand fears. How is that going to affect the Japanese market? I can have the Japanese market. Japan FTSE index. CFD. Happy to one. I don't actually know what the Japan market looks like, to be fair. Let's have a look, see. Just the overall. Yeah, that would look like it. Let's see how this has worked out, shall we? Let's see what the weekly chart is telling us. I like to zoom out. Oh, see, the news is telling us there's problems, but look, the market is pretty much booming. This is a Japanese market from Japan. Look, it's just been going up and up and up since 2012. Pushing. Yeah, it's showing strength actually, even though the news is saying there isn't any strength. See what I mean? Long-term borrowing, we expect costs high, demand fears. Same old rubbish that the news puts out to try to send you in the wrong direction. Don't worry too much about that. Mooted fix for the Treasury. See, not much really has changed if you look at the news, so it's all good. Bitcoin uptrend at risk ahead of Nvidia earnings. Fed minutes. XRP holds key support amid XRP FI narrative. As I was saying, the uptrend is at risk ahead of Nvidia earnings. We've got Nvidia earnings this week. Ooh, we like the sound of Nvidia earnings, don't we? Why are they trying to make out that there's a problem? What about Nvidia? I love Nvidia. I like to trade it. I've made a little bit of money on it last year trading it, and then I just stopped trading it. quite frankly. This is the weekly chart. Last week was down. This week is up. Let's see. This is the area that I would like to see Nvidia hit. If it goes above it, again, we're in price discovery. We'll see how that goes, but I'd love it to hit here. So this is the direction I believe it was going to before it takes its way back down again, closes all these daily gaps that it's created. See, back to the daily chart, you can see these daily gaps. Got a tiny one here, but whatever, not fussed about that. All these gaps it's created on the way up. They do tend to like to close these gaps. But yeah, these are the areas that I'll be looking at for a long. In fact, what I'll do, short. What I'll do is I'll put a parallel channel here instead to show area that I would be looking at. So here's the area I'd be looking at for it to hit, this will be my short zone. So I would open the shorts in this zone here to see how it reacts. This area here, it reacts around the middle of the channel. So like 3 tiny resistance here, and a main resistance, which is up here. I'm going to change this to red so you can see that clearly. All right, so that's NVIDIA. Here we go. I've spoken about Coinbase for a while. Coinbase has just had a great run over the course of the last few years. I mean, back here it busted out in December 23 of this downtrend line I had there. I'm going to take that out now. At the moment, it's just on a upward trend. As you can see here, that's the main trend line here. It still hasn't come back to yet. So yeah, it's had a nice little up. Could this be a head and shoulders? It could be. See how it reacts here. Keep an eye on that. Slightly untidy, but still could be. Now, if that was a head and shoulders, you'd be looking at from the top. They measure it to the bottom. Could be the move. Could be about here. So say it breaks this. It does form our head. It does do the head and shoulders. Then oh, that's bad. It'll pretty much look like it's gone to zero. Oh, that's crazy. I don't see that happening, because that would be absolutely ridiculous if that was to play out. But yeah, that's pretty much what it's saying. Let's move this line over. If anything, it would probably come down to here. Let's be honest. Let's put a price label in there. If it was, if this head and shoulders was to play out, then we're probably looking at there as the low. Because if it goes past here, then we know we're definitely in bear market territory, which, let's be honest, is for the crypto world should actually start around November, December this year. Okay, remember that. It's the same thing all the time. Oh, hello, Celsius. Right. Oh, it was me right. Doing a learning thing. Yeah, Celsius. Well, that did come down a lot here, didn't it? In February, it started to bounce up a little bit. Higher high, higher low, another higher high, and it's gone back above this brilliant indicator. Let's see what it does around the 200-day. Celsius could be a nice little long here, really. Let's see what the measurement is between here and the lows. Ooh, that would be like 4 entries if you were looking to re-enter. Keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on keep an eye on Celsius. Let's keep an eye on Celsius. If I was to probably go in, it'd be this between these 2 lines here if I was to take a long on it. All right, I think I'm done now. Quite frankly, probably bored of this now. If you are watching this at home, but yep. Keep an eye on these levels. I will be updating this as I go along. They do go into my Telegram group. They get updated first, so all 24/7 of everything that's going on. ENA traders are long at the moment until the market tells me otherwise. That'll be another high low, depending on what this. High low to what this does. Keep an eye. I'll be updating you in the Telegram group, and I'm definitely holding on to this lovely bad boy Bitcoin short right at resistance. Just below resistance. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased with that trade. Right, I think I will leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And please come on live streams, probably maximum 30 minutes. I'll probably do like I have today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and join us next time. Hope to build a nice community again. And yeah, starting afresh. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye bye for now.